But
I'll put you on the spot. There's a whole bunch of signatures down here. So can you describe what these signatures are?
well, I can, because it's written what they are.
I was trying to make you look better by not saying that, Freedom.
No. So yeah, the people who went there, the advance party, and the people who were there for most of the time for the science expedition, have signed under the map as well. So it's a bit of an autograph collection.
Mm-hmm.
There was something. Oh, I don't think it's on this map. I did hear a piece of trivia though that. As part of this expedition, some people from Disney movies went down and spent some time with them and recorded penguins and things like that for some sort of Disney movie. So there were, I know some Disney people were part of this expedition, and I have seen something signed where someone was from the Disney Corporation, but it's obviously not on this particular document. So
I wonder if it had anything to do with that famous Disney documentary about nature and the lemmings, where the whole lemming rumor starts.
Oh, what's this? What's this about?
Of lemmings jumping over the cliff. One of the supposed origins of this is that Disney had a nature documentary where they showed lemmings jumping over cliffs, like to their death.
Yeah.
But it was all fakes. Like it wasn't real footage or anything.
Right.
But they apparently were doing a whole bunch of like nature documentaries in the 1950s, and that is supposedly where one of these ideas came from.
Well, almost certainly this was the 1950s, and they were making a nature documentary, so there is certainly a tie in there. Yeah. So anyway, it's a lovely map, but it was an excuse for us to get a flag on the podcast, which we have done. I wanted something bigger and better. I was hoping for a whole book of flag designs, but we were in a bit of a hurry and we didn't find what we wanted.
I noticed another little detail on this map here, which I like. So they've drawn in the whale, and then there's a couple of other little icebergs that they have included on the map, though, again, I presume that they are transitory objects. Berg, tilted Berg, and then the twins. But then what I like, it seems as though the author of this map got a little tired of it, because then in another corner, he's just written, "Here be a berg of great magnitude," but has not included the drawing. It's just like, it was really big and it was over there.
Take my word. I once caught a fish this big.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And I also wonder, like, presumably they were drawing this in Antarctica. Like, was he really busy? Like, he didn't have, my day is just absolutely packed. I can't possibly draw a berg of great magnitude. I'm just going to write it in so people know.
It is a nice map. I do like maps on the wall at home. I know you don't.
No, they can look very good.
Have you ever are you a map on the wall kind of guy, or?
I personally am not, but in the previous place where my parents lived, my father in his office had a bunch of maps. So we used to live on Long Island, and my father had a big like nautical map of the surrounding area, and I always liked to look at it. I thought it looked really nice. So yes, a well done map on the walls is a nice addition to an office.
Okay, well, those of you not watching sort of the video incarnation of this, good pictures of this map and some of the little details are in the show notes, so you can really pore over them and enjoy them with us. And also a picture of the flag.
Yes.
Let me get you something else.
Do you need to take this away?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to stop. There you go. So what I might try and do is get a picture of this map, and I want to put it next to some sort of Google image or map of what's there now, because I think that's going to be a really interesting comparison. But
yeah, I mean, the other thing is just I'm noticing it's 1802, which I have a hard time remembering how relatively recent all of the history of Australia is. Like that this is the mapping of South Australia and it's only 1802. Like it took Western humans a long time to get to this location, whereas by this point, like, America is busy, and it's a real place, and
yeah. I mean, you're testing my Australian history here, but let me turn the page and I'll show you a map of all of Australia to give you a bit more context. At this point, it's called, you were like this is when Australia was called...
it was New Holland, yeah.
It's New Holland, so the map's got New Holland written on it. Let me check my shot for people, adjust the camera shot. So I can see all of Australia, there we go. Oops. So the part of South Australia where Flinders is mapping is down here. There's Van Diemen's Land.
That also caught my eye as well.
Van Diemen's Land,
which is Tasmania
now. So by 1800, this part of Australia, the east, New South Wales, what is to become Sydney, has been settled to some extent, and is well known through Captain Cook. South Australia, which was not a convict colony. They never sent convicts to South Australia, which South Australians are always very quick to point out.
I was going to say, Australians are always so touchy on this issue.
Yeah, so
it's really comical.
Yeah, because all English people like saying, you're all descended from convicts. But if you're South Australian like me, you always say, there were no convicts in South Australia.
No, you're not the first South Australian that I have heard this from. I have heard this from many South Australians about, but don't include us, right? And all those Sydney-siders.
Yeah, I actually quite like the convict heritage. I would love to be descended from convicts.
Right, but it's not even your heritage then. You have to point out that this isn't you.
No, exactly. I don't know. Maybe a few convicts made their way over to Adelaide. I don't know. I'm not ruling anything out. So anyway, so he's mapping. Flinders is mapping the bottom of bottom of Australia.
This little area.
The part where it looks like some monsters come and taken a big chunk out of the bottom of Australia.
Right.
Flinders is mapping around there. But over on the east, Captain Cook territory is already well known. The actual proclamation of South Australia, I think, is 1836. So about 30 years after Flinders, they started getting their act together, settling it.
What do you mean the proclamation?
Proclaiming it as a state. They landed there and said, this is a new, they raised a flag. There's a place in Adelaide called the Old Gum Tree. There was a tree where they said, okay, there was a ceremony held there, and there's pictures of it, paintings of it. And that tree is now is preserved, and it's now it's just like a piece of wood with concrete everywhere, and it's like a real embarrassing thing. But the Old Gum Tree is a landmark of South Australia.
Yeah, even though we originate from opposite sides of the world, we still have that kind of Dutch exploration connection, though, because this is New Holland, and New York used to be New Amsterdam, right? That was the original name for it. So
yeah. Dampier was Dutch, wasn't he? There's an explorer called Dampier who was involved in a lot of the exploration of Australia, and he was someone I tried to get something for us today, because he spent a lot of his time sort of almost hitchhiking and hanging out with pirates. So I was trying to find some freebooting documents, and that we were going to link it to Dampier because that was our best chance, but we didn't. We didn't get the freebooting smoking gun that we wanted.
Some actual real freebooting.
Yeah. So this podcast was going to be a freebooting free zone, but that's gone now.
Yeah, it's not right.
Anyway, there's not much for you to say. I just wanted to show you that because I'm just so excited about it. And
you are.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love your excitement.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite map I've ever seen. I'm going to have one last look at it before we put it away.
I love that you get so excited about these things.
I know. There we go. I'll take some pictures of that and put it on There was right near where there is a place he's named here. It looks like it's a sandbank or a shoal or something, and he's giving them all names. And he has named the one in the sea right near Mount Lofty, Grey Shoal or Grey Sandbank.
With an E or with an A?
With an E.
Oh, there we go. The right way.
There's so many little details here, but they're so good, these maps. They knew how to make a good map, didn't they? So I had an idea. Put it on the table for a second.
Okay, I'll put it on the table.
Take your Apple Watch off for a second.
I'll take my Apple Watch off.
Put it next to it. Where's my watch? Here it is.
You want me to put the Apple Watch next to it?
Yeah, there's my watch.
Are you gonna ask a competition here of which one people like to look up best?
Okay, everyone, hang on. I'll zoom in. There you go, folks. See, all that rubbish. Yours doesn't even stay.
Yeah, it doesn't even stay on. Who can tell the time on it?
What do you think, folks?
I mean, just from...
Look at that
I'm not... You think I'm going to put my watch in such a way that you could just suddenly get access to my watch? No, of course not.
So there we go, everyone. I've put Gray's Apple Watch, my Omega Speedmaster, and Sir Isaac Newton's bogus watch.
Yours looks the best, just on a pure looks basis. There's no doubt about it. That Omega Speedmaster is beautiful.
I'd most like to wear that, but I wouldn't mind owning that gold one.
Would you want to carry that around all day? You wouldn't want to carry that around. That's pretty heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
You have a chain, hanging off of you all day? No, it's not. It's impractical.
Let's change objects. There's the gold watch. Did you like that one?
I did like that one. That's good.
And because...
It's different and it's tricksy.
And because it's Isaac Newton, it's an Apple Watch.
It's not Isaac Newton's.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's the whole point, isn't it?
So you can't say something that's not true and not even start to fool yourself.